reckon we could record while we play. It's going to be a lot to keep track of. You're going to have your 15 twos and your... Oh, it's kind of hard to hold cards and record a podcast at the same time. Yeah, I'm not going to be leaning all the way over here while I'm doing a podcast. This is live air. This is Quinn David Furness. This is my show. Welcome to the Beantown podcast, Thanksgiving edition, 2019. We're playing Cribbage. We're shopping Black Friday deals, and we're recording a podcast. And we're joined by #brother of the podcast, Walter Furness. What's going on? How are you?
Thanks, Quinn. Great to be back. Doing all right.
Now I just feel like I'm holding like a selfie stick or something.
If you do it right, maybe you look like Bob Barker.
I suppose.
Except
the
mic's a little too big, but...
Yeah, we have mic stands now, but based off of how we're sitting, I don't know how useful they'll be. But turn it on.
I think it was on. I think it just slipped down there.
I don't know if we're picking you up. Try saying something loud into the microphone.
Sibilous.
All right. You might just... we should be good to go. You might just have to turn up your volume when you listen back to this podcast. But we're coming to you live from the north side of Chicago the day after Thanksgiving, also known as Black Friday here in the United States. And we're playing some cribbage, which, it's kind of unruly microphone here. Kind of coming back around because on one of our very first podcasts, maybe back in like April or something, the first time Jack Furness ever came on the podcast, we were playing cribbage. At that point, though, we only had one microphone, so we're really taking a step up in the world. But we're also trying to play cribbage while we're doing this, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. I'm also dealing with a cold, so we're just kind of... The mind, I don't know how much I'll be able to handle, but we'll do our best anyways. And this is my show. This is what I sound like, and my crib is going to be good. So, yeah. Well, what's going on? What's happening?
Well, I'm up here in Chicago for the Thanksgiving holiday. Get to spend it with Quinn. We were over at Chez Vanderpaul last night for some tasty selections. Got all kinds of food. 2 turkeys. A lot of turkey. We got some good desserts and...
Yeah, how many pies / cakes were there in total last night? It seemed like they just kept coming.
There were 2 different cheesecakes. There was an apple pie, a mixed berry or berry medley perhaps, berry plosion, I don't know, pie. What else was there? There were, of course, these very work of art-esque cookies and these meringue mushrooms. Very autumnal, and boy, am I missing anything? We might have missed something else.
I wasn't listening.
There were a lot of desserts going on. So
nice. All right, as we mentioned, I don't know if you the listeners could pick up the hard cut there, but we were doing some technical stuff that you probably wouldn't understand, so I won't even try to explain it to you. We're playing cribbage here, Black Friday, and later on in the podcast, if you stick it out with us, we might just find you some hot deals. So it's also tough because we're playing cribbage, and it's a very vocal game. You're oftentimes talking about what you're doing, scoring, etc. But we figure if we just do that, it might be kind of a boring podcast, so we're trying to... It's like a silent count in football. Wow, when the crowd gets real loud. So we'll don't be surprised if we do have to jump into some counting here and there, though, because I don't know how much my mind's going to be able to process here. It is Black Friday 2019. Lots of good deals out there. Whether you're getting a plasma screen, 96-inch television, or 5G network from Sprint, or maybe you're more of a Thomas Middleditch guy and you want to get that Verizon high speed. Walt, did you hear about the Sprint T-Mobile merger? Because I've heard murmurings about that, but I haven't really heard people talk about it.
I thought I maybe heard a rumor about it, but how does that not potentially violate antitrust rules?
I don't know. I didn't study antitrust rules in college.
I think you got to look into torts for that, maybe.
I don't think that's what a tort is, but
but it sure is fun to say.
I could go for a tort for lunch right about now. Haven't had breakfast yet.
What about tortellini? I think that's Italian for a small tort.
Probably. Something like that. It's a good reference. We love language on the podcast. Tortellini, Tortellini. Well, it's got a...
Let's see. We got 15-2 here. 15-4. Pair for 6.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Boy, Howie, I think that's it.
That's all right.
Wouldn't it be wild if we were, doing the silent count that you were talking about, and we got off on like different pages?
15-6. Different pages? What do you mean?
Like one person thought it was 31 or something, the other one, but it wasn't. Or maybe you played a card because you thought the count was one thing and it was another. Right. Oh, come on. This is
going to take me a couple minutes to process. 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, 15-8. Pair for 10 and 2 runs at 3 for 16.
Good Lord.
Chugga, Chattanooga, choo-choo. Wowza. I think I got all my points. If not, you can have something. It'd be like socialism. Like that Bernie Sanders.
Let's see, 2.
It reminds me of the time I was at Guthrie's Tavern on Addison Street playing Battleship against one of my friends, and she and I had a discrepancy in what squares I had attacked and which ones I hadn't. And so I was very confused at the end of the game when I saw where her ships were stationed, because I thought I had already
That's
hit
why
those.
you upgrade to those like stealth battleships.
Yeah, submarine battleship. You can't actually hit any of them. You're just playing for fun. Yeah. U-boat style. Well, since it is Black Friday and we're playing cribbage boards are probably one of the hottest selling items at local retailers these days. So let's see what happens when we Google cribbage board Black Friday. Probably going to get some sick deals from Walmart. $45. Oh, it's not that doesn't look like a cribbage board. Ooh, solid wood cribbage set at Kohl's was $13. Excuse me. Now $6.99.
That's like 50% off.
More or less. Yeah. Macy's $14. Oh, look at this funky. Let's pull this up and look at this. It's in the shape of a 29. I don't really know what that means. I was going to say make a reference to a sports player, but I can't think of a 29. Chester Taylor, maybe. I don't remember. Look at that funky looking board from Macy's.
That's weird. I wonder why the 29. It'd be one thing if it was like 21 or something.
Yeah, maybe if we got our friends and family and sons discount from Pops, we could save some money. Discount. Oh, you can get the same cribbage board from Kohl's for only $10.99. Oh boy. Dad's not going to want to hear that. Good thing he doesn't listen to our podcast. All right. We're moving into hand number 2 here. You're right. I do feel like Bob Barker like this.
We got to get you a better mic stand so you can do all this multitasking.
Yeah.
Actually, I was supposed to cut for you.
It's all right. This hand sucks either way. I have one of those lapels that you just wear there, but I haven't really broken it out yet.
To play around with that sometime.
Yeah, I don't think I have all the technology to like convert it or whatever. But is that 1 or 2 points?
That's just 1.
Yeah, I bought it a long time ago, but I have not yet really gotten into it. All right. Well, I just got 4 points. That's pretty rough. I needed a queen or something to really bring it home. But it was 2 jacks and 2 kings for those of you who are trying to score with us at home. I'm sure that's what you're doing on your weekend.
What we're looking at here is just a classic 6. Nothing flashy.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a Camry or something.
Yeah, that ace didn't do much for either of us.
That sucks. Hopefully there'll be something in the crib.
Yeah. Was a riveting podcast. Really high energy. I'm like sleepy Joe Biden right now. Well, the good news is that once Walt finishes scoring this hand and I start shuffling and dealing, Walt was going to tell us some of his favorite Black Friday memories from years past. So I know he's been thinking about that for a long time.
So this is looking like 15-2, 15-4.
Yep.
And not a lot else. So I'm creeping up, but still trailing by about 6 points here. 7 points.
I'm a creep. I'm a loser. Now I'm trying to...
Isn't that weirdo? Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
pretty
how
good
it
how you're
goes.
holding that. But so here's a little sidebar connected to that. Have you ever seen the video of that little girl? I think she looks like she's perhaps, I don't know, Filipino descent or something. I don't know. But she's like a YouTube sensation kind of, and she sings. I can't remember if I don't think she plays instruments along with it, but she sings and covers songs, and she covers Creep by Radiohead. And she just belts it, and she's like singing outdoors outside this store or something, and people are going crazy, losing their mind. She's pretty good. I don't remember her name, so that's not much to go on, but
I'll have to check that out.
you probably find it on YouTube.
I know there's this one girl drummer.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that one recently.
One thing where she's playing In Bloom by Nirvana, and she's just going nuts.
And she does the screams and everything,
primal
right?
Screams, yeah. There was my favorite, and I think where I first encountered that was, because last week the big thing to do on Twitter was Astros be like, and then there's some just video with just like super cacophonous, tons of noise, making fun of their sign stealing methods. And there was one. It was just a video of that girl, but just her yelling during the course of it. It was one of my favorite ones. Boy, this hand really blows. Try to help myself out in the crib as much as possible. It's not helpful.
Yeah, that does nothing.
This stinks.
Sometimes when I play cribbage with Kelly, she loves cribbage these days. Sometimes if there's a flip like this that doesn't help either of us, or we
does
both
it again.
Oh yeah, she wants a redo. She says mulligan, Howie.
It's like the NFL changing the rules to get higher point totals in games and stuff.
What rule is that?
I don't know. They just made it impossible to play defense these days with pass interference.
All those DPIs.
Yeah, his hand really sucks.
All right, try this on for size.
8. You got an 18.
28.
31.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Let's lead with 8 again.
Ooh, I don't like that. 18.
25.
Ooh, can't go.
Sweet.
I had a 9, and if it would have fit, that would have been a nice little run, but not quite.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's your
Similar
crib, right?
Yeah.
You got a better hand than I do, I think.
Really?
Got
I don't think
2,
so.
4, 6.
Yeah, I got 3 points. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Walt's just trying to do his classic get yourself down and then feel good when you come from behind, except he's not actually.
Sandbagging.
I got a 15-2. That stinks. That was a cool 5 points for those of you scoring at
2-7-6
home.
combination a lot already today.
Well, it's been 3 hands. I'm not sure how much data we have to go off of. But. While Walt's dealing, that would be a good time to hear from our sponsors, Home Pride Oregon. Are you tired of selling your house for less than a quarter of what it's worth, all because you couldn't find a reliable home inspector in time? Well, Oregon listeners, there's good news. Home Pride Oregon Inspection Services is one of Oregon's hottest new home inspection providers with services including things like heating and cooling, roofing, plumbing, and so much more. Home Pride Oregon is both contractor certified and home inspection certified, so you know you're getting the good stuff. If you're tired of big real estate stranglehold on the home inspection market and you want a safe, certified home inspector that you can trust, you got to call Steve at 541-410-0316 or visit homeprideoregon.com. Again, that's 541-410-0316 or visit homeprideoregon.com. Home Pride Oregon. Inspection perfection. I did the first half of that ad without it in front of me. I'm just kind of going on instinct. And the hands just keep sucking.
Yeah, this one is a new low for me.
Wow, this is real icky. I feel uncomfortable just talking about it. Boy, oh boy. You ever play any good, like Thanksgiving?
Ooh, that's a nice flip, though.
Football games when you were in college or anything, Walt?
Maybe not specific to Thanksgiving, but I recall that the intramural flag football season would be going on during this time, and it was during one of those games, trying to kind of prove my mettle to the frat guys I was playing with that I broke my ring finger going down to catch a underthrown, may I say, pass. So that's the one that I've still got this ugly bump on today because I had those pins in it and the bone just grew around it. But that's 30-3, I think. So that's a sick.
Wow, getting my ass rammed here.
31 actually. So I'll take 2 there.
Not the fun kind.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know, but do you remember growing up?
4 and a pair for 7.
I feel like Thanksgiving was the time to go out in the backyard with Dad and play some flag football. And back then it was sweet because Dad could really air it out compared to us, and it was like catching passes from Drew Brees or something.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Exactly what Dad's arm was like.
Compared to like 9-year-old kids, yeah. Now hold on here. You took 1, 2, 3, 4. You took 7.
Yeah, that's what I had.
2, 4. Yeah, okay. For some reason, just the way it was read, I
Walt's just not happy.
So we got 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, pair for 8.
I'll be back.
Okay. So let's see. Gotta make sure I got the right amount there. Yeah. All right. That looks like it checks out. So what do you guys think about Christmas music in November? I feel like it's a hot debate. Maybe we can do a little poll. Just text the number that you see below at the bottom of your screen and give us a 1 for I'm for it and a 2 for no deal, Howie.
Wow. I never knew my podcast could be so high tech. It's like an American Idol when you used to have to call in, and I remember
Phone lines are open.
Phone lines are open and singular wireless, and Mrs. Slothauer was always really concerned that you had to pay a toll to vote, but I don't think you ever did. And you could only vote, I don't know how many times. I don't remember.
It was a bunch, I thought. I never did it. Did you ever do it? Did you ever vote for Sanjaya or anything like that?
I never called, but once they had the online voting, I would do that for Jacob Lusk and Joshua Ledet. I always rooted for the black male singers on American Idol. I don't really know why, but it is Black Friday, so it's on theme at least. But boy, I was really struggling to shuffle here.
Well, you want me to hold the mic while you're doing
No,
that?
that's okay. I'm a do-it-myself kind of guy. Two of the first three
Yeah, I am.
American Idol winners were African-American.
That's true.
Ruben Studdard and Fantasia Barone.
Mm.
And then there's been one since, maybe. I don't know. Her name was like Candace Parker, I think.
Wow, I wouldn't have remembered that.
Yeah, I stopped watching after like season 18
Are
or
they?
something.
Did they finally stop, or are they still going?
Well, they revived it.
Yeah.
They took a year off, and then
Okay.
ABC picked it up, I think. Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's like Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and I don't know, maybe Ellie Goulding. Or
Maybe
something.
Left Shark as the third judge.
That could be.
Or maybe Judge Reinhold. He
That'd
is a
be
judge
good.
after all.
Oh, boy. Another flip that doesn't help me.
Yeah, man,
I
that's
had
hopeful
one
again.
help last time, but
You're not going to like what you see when I put my cards out there.
I'm getting my butt waxed.
8.
Oh, that's a great start. 28, 18. I had one of those rare 20-point cards.
Yeah, this is, now that's going to take us to 24.
29.
30.
Boy, he's getting all those goes, too. This is wicked. 10.
16.
26.
So how about you, Quinn? What do you have any,
Yikes.
Black Friday or Thanksgiving memories that really jump out to you now as we approach 2020? That was the year and when you played Civilization 2, the PC game, that the game just ended.
No, that's depressing.
Well, it was released in like 91 or something.
Yeah. Let's see. I remember one time when I was in college or grad school, I don't remember which one, I spent Thanksgiving by myself. None of my roommates were home. And so I went to order a pizza from Papa John's, and I I ordered it to the right store, but I got the numbers mixed up in my head, so I think it was like 1,300 or something, and I was looking for something. It was like 1,360 something, and I was looking at something for like 1,630 address-wise. And so I found myself in this abandoned area trying to figure out where the heck this Papa John's was.
On Thanksgiving Day?
On Thanksgiving Day.
Oof, that's tough.
At like 5 p.m. or something. 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, pair for 8. And eventually I figured it out, and I got my pizza, but it was like a mile walk, so it was already, it looks good, already a bit of a trek. I got 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, pair for 8.
Well, so much for that lead. That was short-lived for me.
Well, yeah, it's good for you. I think that's all there was.
Do you think, you want to walk us through this Papa John fiasco that's going on right now?
It's closed now. It was down on Devon Ave, and it was, I believe, located in the 1300 block of Devon, but I thought it was, I don't remember where I ended up, not that far away, but it was just one of those things where there are no buildings with the number you're looking for, and you're very confused, and took me too long to go back into my phone and pull up the confirmation email to see where it was. But a similar thing actually happened to me. I was in Washington, D.C. a couple weekends ago, and I had gotten in my hotel fairly late, so I was just looking to order something or carry out. And I just picked a place close to me. I was at like probably about a mile north and a little bit west of Union Station, just about half a mile south of where Howard is. And I just ordered from this random place, whatever. I got like a burger and a salad or something. And that is the type of situation when you punch in the address on Google Maps and it takes you to this one place. And so I go there and I'm walking around this entire block trying to because it's like an apartment building with restaurants on the first floor of it. So I'm trying to figure out where this place is. Eventually I go into the door where there's a Chase Bank ATM, and I take the elevator downstairs. I'm thinking maybe it's one of those cool speakeasy places. And I get downstairs, and the elevator shoots me out into just like this very small room. There's not much there. And there's a door, presumably for the stairs, but it was locked. And so I went back in the elevator, and the elevator wouldn't take me up. So I had to press the like call button on the elevator, and it was like 10 minutes later, somebody, I think from the apartment building or something, came down and got me out of there. So I was like, do you know where this place is? Because I went down to this basement, and there weren't any burgers or salads here. And it was across the street in the basement down there. And it was just hard to find. But eventually I got my burger and salad. But I was stuck for like 10 minutes. And I was really hungry. It was really sad. So it's not the first time it's happened to me. But
so what I think I'm hearing you say is that you've had some really sad Thanksgivings.
yeah, thankfully that wasn't Thanksgiving. That was just
true.
a couple weeks ago. But I remember in high school, I think 2 years, I worked Thanksgiving and Black Friday at Kmart. And that was always just apologies for my language, a shit show. Speaking of shit shows, this hand has 0 points in it.
Did you ever witness any brawls on the floor?
No, the thing with Black Friday at Kmart was just that those Kmarts in Rockford were so like underemployed / managed. Oh, I have 0 points. Oh no, I got 2. On a normal day, that you'd get to Black Friday and all hell would just break loose. The stores were just crazy messy. Wait, what's it at?
29, I think.
30.
Can't go.
And yeah, people would always be clamoring for their flat screen TVs and stuff. And yeah, it was, I think Thanksgiving I had to work at like 5 a.m. Got 2 points. And Black Friday was like 4 a.m. That was always rough to get up for that. It reminded me of morning practice for swimming in high school, which I think I went to once or twice my senior year of high school.
Dedicated.
And here's the thing, and I think about this a lot because I consider myself to be a good team player and someone who's fairly committed to the sports that I play. But when you're in high school and you're working,
It's okay. I don't think it does anything.
10, 15 hours a week, and you're taking classes at 3 different institutions, and you're already spending 2 hours at regular practice, and then you're also a musician, so you're putting in at least an hour a day on your instrument. It's pretty brutal to wake up at 5 a.m. to go swim in a cold pool for an hour in the morning and do that consistently. I had to take care of myself before anything else. So kudos to the people out there that can do those 2-a-day practices, but it was either that or get a desperately needed extra hour and a half of sleep in the winter, and that's just the way it worked out for me. So yeah, plus coach always promised that we could play water polo, and then that never happened. A lot of false promises in high school. Yeah, like take Haley Kittle to homecoming dance, it'll be fun. Classic false promise. I feel like this game's been going on for
what, the fun part or
minutes.
the taking her part?
The fun part. I think she was my third try that year. It was rough. Yeah. Who knew someone could dance by themselves for 2 hours and have a great time? Not me. Boy, these hands just keep getting worse all the time.
This hand would be nice if I could keep all 6 cards, but
Yeah. Boy, Just nothing exciting. We're only, what are we, halfway? Oh, more
We're a
than
little
that.
over halfway.
Boy, mind is struggling here. Shout out to the Samson Q2U series, pulling double duty. And that does nothing for me, which is fun. Always nice when we can get double duty from the Samson Q2U series.
Oh, you need some water or some tea or something, man? You're sounding a little downtrodden here in the second half.
I'm just, when I get a cold, my eyes just get like, they burn a little bit. And, it's just just a low energy podcast.
10.
This would be good if you were trying to fall asleep or something.
Well, maybe some will use it that way.
16.
26.
29.
30.
31.
That's 4. That hurts. Plus, got to lead with this. 5.
14.
What were you taking a point for there?
Last card.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, we're doing a lot here. Hey, you ever hear about those? I can't remember what they're called, but the like oral thing, and I mean AURAL, oral, where like people listen to these like YouTube clips and stuff online where people are doing like weird like sounds.
Yeah,
and like,
I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so some people are really into that. Like, what's the deal with that?
I don't know. Do people use it to sleep or just to have something on?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's like it gives them like a tingly sensation or something, maybe.
Wow.
But maybe it's a sleep thing. I don't know.
Classic oral sensations.
Yeah, I'm looking at 4 points here. This is pretty terrible.
I think that's more than I have. I've got 15-2
in the lead.
And that's about it. That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
This just kind of fits the mood,
It's a little bit better, but 15-2, 15-4, and a pair for 6.
You almost had a flush there, too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way around.
Yeah, I don't like the way that
We
looks.
picked up speed on the outside there. Boy. Thanksgiving.
What are you
Friday.
thankful for this year, Quinn?
Carbs. The whole like keto diet, and I try to avoid empty carbs as much as possible, and I don't really eat much bread or anything like that, but I just can't imagine getting into a routine in my life where I just like completely cut out the carbs, because I feel like unless you're cooking all the time, which I cook a decent amount, but oftentimes on the weekends I won't cook as much, it's really hard to avoid carbs if you're not cooking, because it just feels like everything that's delicious that you splurge on a little bit has a decent amount of carbs in it. It's just what makes the world go round. Yeah, Freddie Mercury said fat bottom girls make the world go round. I say carbs make the world go round. Or if you're playing Pokemon, you can get carbos or whatever, however you say it. Increase your speed. I never really splurged on any of those. I was more of a straight shooter. Although I suppose, could you buy those at a mart anywhere, or did you just have to find them?
I think you could buy them at what was the name of the really big mart in that central city? Celadon or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds right. It was like 6 floors.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of the mart was called, but
You
I
can
think
get
you could buy them there.
Pokemon moves out of the vending machine. That's pretty intense. On the top floor, you get like rock slide or something like that, or rock throw.
Yeah, I think you could also buy lemonade, which I always found was a pretty funny power-up type thing.
Damn. I've got a good hand, but a flip really could have sealed it for me.
Well, right. I don't think I'm going to catch you, unfortunately. I can't seem to get traction.
10.
20. That's a pair.
30.
Oh,
It's the last
Lord.
jack I was looking for because I got the other three.
Ugly.
1, 2,
Yes,
3, 4,
and-
5, 6.
Yikes. Okay, 31.
10.
Doesn't matter. 20.
25.
Can't go.
Nice.
Get the last card.
All right. I really could have used another 5 on that flip, but oh well.
Wow,
15,
that's a
2,
great
15,
hand.
4,
This
15,
is
6.
lights out for
6
me.
makes 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's what it is. But my mind is not sharp right now.
Well, I'm just looking at a sequence of 3, 9, 10, jack. That is it. That is it.
Well, maybe you'll get a big crib.
Yeah, one can hope. Nope. Pair for 2. And, oh, hold on. I renege.
Classic.
Pair for 2. But there's also a hidden 15-2, 15-4. So we're looking at, and plus the other pair. So we're looking at a lot more than I thought at first. All right. So 15-2, 15-4.
Moral of the story, it came out to something.
Yeah, it was still a distant second place, but at least I'm on the same stretch here. Doesn't look like I'm really getting left in the dust.
Yeah. Cuts by Q, bob and weave. We all know the hairstyle and we all love it. But how many Chicago-based independent barbers can actually give it to you the way you deserve? Enter Cuts by Q. It's like Enter Sandman, but different. Cuts by Q has been independently owned and operated since 1995. It's probably one of the better barbershop operations serving Chicago, Cook County, and the greater Chicagoland area. Shuffling is about as bad as it gets right now. From beehives to bangs, faux hawks to flat tops, and everything in between. Call Cuts by Q at yahoo.com. Nope, that's strange. Calling an email address. Call Cuts by Q at 815-298-7200 or email cutsbyq at yahoo.com. Again, that's Cuts, Q-U-T-Z, by Q at yahoo.com. Oh, when you need a fresh do, something snappy and new, just call the experts at Cuts by Q. I think that was 6 cards.
Looks about right.
All right, let's finish this off.
Good hand, too little, too late.
Maybe. Let's see
It's also
here.
not really that great.
I don't remember much about Thanksgiving growing up. Just football on TV and dinner and rolls. I usually was in charge of the olives.
Kind of sound like Garrison right now.
Yeah.
Football and TV.
Well, it's not as good as my Al Franken impression, but I suppose with some of this congestion, I could do it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll practice that off air. Maybe bring it in next week. But one good flip could bring me over the edge. Nope. We flipped a 7 about half of the flips we've had this game, which you think normally would bring in bucos points, but not always the case. 14,
17.
20.
22.
25. This could be bad.
27.
Ooh. 30. Hey, we made it the whole way.
Didn't even hit a single 31. Wow, you've had some interesting looking hands there.
Yeah.
Let's see, you dealt, right? Yeah.
I sure did.
This is just not good enough to catch up. It's kind of been the story of this game for me here. We're looking at a single 15. And then we got a pair for 4, 6 more in runs, so we're up to 10. And I think that's going to be about it. Couldn't quite have the flush.
I get 3 of a kind or pair royale for 6. A 2 would have really finished things off.
I don't know. I think we might have to play one more hand here.
I got 15-2, 15-4.
Close.
Well, unless you have any plans to score 20 points in play.
I'm just hoping you're going to get a big goose egg, but it's unlikely, obviously.
Yeah, I think the percentage of all that happening
This
is
kind of feels
kind of low.
like when Boromir's already got 2 arrows in him, but we got to play. There's a couple seconds left in this game.
Yeah. Or if you're playing against Mark Ingram and he only needs 4 points on Monday Night Football, and then he gets 25.
So what's going on in football these days?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the state of the league, the Great White North?
Oh, things are not exactly settled in terms of seeding. Actually, 6 of the teams know where they're going to be. 4 of them don't. So in Pope and Young, we got Jack winning the division and there's some miraculous math involved. But
this would be fishes and loaves level miracle if Andy could pull this off.
I think we don't know officially what it would be because we're just going off of some averages. But Andy would need to score approximately 358 points and hope that Jack loses as well, which might be more improbable than Andy scoring 358 points.
Also, Andy had a bunch of guys already go under projections, so now I think he needs, one of his players to score about 100 probably.
Yeah. Here, we'll pull it up. We'll walk you through it.
And then in the other side, we got the toilet bowl all settled, right?
Yeah, Jake versus Abby. Man. Some of the big names who won't be participating in the playoffs this year in terms of players are DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Jacobs, New England defense.
That's a big one.
For Nutty Biscuits, who had a hell of a Thanksgiving yesterday. We won't be seeing Russell Wilson, who I think is the number 2 quarterback. Otherwise, there's nothing on that team. So, boy, I'm going to get my ass spanked by the worst team in football. Yeah, we've got the 3 and the 4 seeds and Pope and Young up for grabs, and that could be huge because Andy is scoring, about 21, 22 points fewer per game than Jack.
About that, yeah.
So that's pretty significant. Dad's in good shape after yesterday, but yeah, you're going to lose, my friend. There's lots to be determined. If Dad wins and Kyle loses, then Dad gets 3 and Kyle gets 4. Which
would be an incredible comeback after it took him, 6 weeks just to win a game or something?
Speaks somewhat to Dad's abilities. It speaks more so to Kyle and Abby's mismanagement. 7. On the other side, you got
17.
Walt and Hunter in an actual 25.
30.
Winner takes the Boone and Crockett. No tiebreakers, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just old-fashioned slug it out.
16.
To determine 1 and 2.
Can't go.
Quinn's locked into the number 3 seed somehow, leading the conference or the division in scoring again. The second straight year, and based off of what happened yesterday, it looks like I'm going to finish with a losing record this year. Also, my team is falling apart. Julio Jones is out. Marlon Mack is out. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is 100% healthy, but I don't really know. Yeah, the team is kind of, hot finish there. Well,
yeah, well, I only ended about 7 behind, although you obviously scored a lot more than you needed to if you had the space for it. So nice job, Quinn.
Thanks. Good game. Yeah, the team is trending in all the wrong directions.
Didn't that happen to, was that Dad last year in the playoffs?
No, it was Jack.
Jack, that you're right. His team kind of just, the wheels came off. Everybody was getting injured. And
yep, we've reached a point where there's not much else to do besides just sit and watch it happen. So, and then you got new Steve sitting in the 4 seed, and he's got a dangerous team if Adam Thielen comes back. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Boone and Crockett is completely up for grabs. I still think it's going to be hard to knock off Jack and Pope and Young. But if Chris Carson keeps getting benched, that could be an upset waiting to happen. What I love is, and I feel like we haven't talked about it much this year, but I think McCaffrey is on pace to beat what Gurley did last year. There was a game against the Falcons, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where the Panthers only scored 3 points, and Christian McCaffrey still at 19. It was just, that's the type of year it's been.
You'd say fantastical, perhaps, to describe that kind of performance.
Yeah, McCaffrey had one bad game early in the year where he had 3 points, and then other than that, I don't know if he's been below like 14 or 15 at all. That's pretty crazy. Well, that's about all I have. It's pretty much all the energy I had to expend today. When I get a cold, I just kind of feel like I can't really do very much. I just kind of sit here. So that's what I'll be doing the next 3 days. You finally get a 4-day weekend and get to spend it on your ass. So.
Maybe it's just what you needed, though.
How so?
Well, like, it's all gives you the time to get the rest that you need, even if it's a real bummer that it means it's at the expense of your potential vacation / doing something fun.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Anything coming up you want to plug, Walt?
Well, we'll begin the gang together out in Oregon in I don't know, another 3 weeks or so here. We've got Grandma and Grandpa Furness coming out. I know they're really looking forward to that foot of snow that's on the ground in Bend right now. But yeah, otherwise just looking forward to that, and don't really have much else.
I get it. We're going to have, we got 2 Beantown Unplugged specials that are in the works right now. One, Mom Goes to Prison. It's a very compelling story. Heartwarming, just in time for the holidays.
Is that like investigative journalism or what?
It could be. I haven't decided yet. And then we're going to be doing an audio book of...
You want to tease that? I think that's tease-worthy.
Oh, it's been teased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of Rockford, Illinois' finest connoisseurs of light opera and a self-proclaimed leather daddy. It's going to be shocking, but I think you're going to like it. That'll probably, I don't know, I've never done an audio book before. This book is like 500 pages. I feel like that's going to take a long time.
I hope you have an unlimited upload amount on all your platforms. That's a lot of gigabytes.
We're going to need to request some extra money from our pledge drive this year. So, yeah, it could be fun. So some of my friends, I think I mentioned this in the past, play a Nintendo theme song cover band. They're called the 8-Bit Boys, and you should go like them on Facebook. But once they get to 2,000 likes, and I think they're at 1,300 or something right now, they've agreed to play the Me theme song for an hour, which is, so on the Wii, you know how you have the different characters and stuff. I think they're called Mii's, M-I-I's, and there's the waiting room theme song, and it's just I think it's a 60-second loop of music, so they're going to have to do it. It comes out to 50 sometimes. They have to do it. But, yeah.
Now, are they purists, or will they, within that framework playing for an hour, are they going to do some riffing,
no,
maybe
they're
some
just
solos?
Play it.
Oof.
Nope.
Tough.
Yeah, you can come out and see them every other Thursday night at Replay in Lincoln Park, which is at Diversey and Sheffield, more or less. They play 2 sets starting at 8:30 p.m. in the back bar where the pop-ups happen. And you can come out, you can play some Super Smash Brothers Melee on the GameCube. And I've been going for a while, and I finally, this last week, I won my first round. So nice. I can usually get second place, but then I had to play one-on-one versus my friend Jackson, who's a bassist, and he played with Falco. And I always play with Kirby, who's really slow compared to Falco, and I think I lost 10 kills to 1 kill or something like that. It was rough.
I'm sure these 8-Bit Boys are good, but man, that going back for a second to the goal and what they're going to do if they hit it, that almost seems like punishing their fans, don't you think?
It's all in good fun. We have a good time doing it. So, well, I don't do it, but I could. I'm ready to sub if they need me. I could do trumpet. I can do piano. I can play triangle. So, a lot of good triangle parts. Yeah. All right. Any last words?
Go Vikes, and let's just hope that the Northwestern Wildcats men's football team has something more to show for themselves next year.
Yeah. Probably about half their games this year they didn't score a touchdown. Got to try to improve on that.
The offense was frighteningly bad. The defense at times kept it a little bit close. I actually thought that Minnesota game, we lost, but the recent game against Minnesota was about the best our offense has looked all year. So that's, again, just sort of my personal opinion. But
well, we're not as bad as Rutgers.
Yeah, that's true. It's not the worst in the Big Ten. Might be the worst in our division, but not in the...
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. If you lasted this long, you're crazy.
Oh, you know what? I did think of something else. It's not really a plug. Sorry, I'm going to interject this. I was wondering if you know how SNL has like the 5-time club?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably like a 10-time club now too. I don't know. Maybe Steve Martin. Anyway. Are you thinking about doing something like that for the Beantown podcast? Because I think you've had a few guests on now, and I'm not even referring to myself necessarily yet, but who have made quite a few appearances. It might be a nice little gesture to have something like that, maybe a lapel pin or maybe like a 10-gallon hat or something that you get.
Oh, a 10-gallon hat. Wow. I don't know if we have the budget for that. That's a good point. Yeah, I'd have to go back and think and see who all has made significant appearances. I think Jack is probably number one. Wouldn't be surprised if you were number two, and then the other two that come to mind are Matthew Fiedler and Ryan Ligon. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone else who's been on more than 2 or 3 times.
Maybe Abby's been on a couple now.
Maybe. Yeah, I think she's been on 3, maybe 4. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at that. Maybe that would be good for a end of year celebration. We will research that. Okay. We'll have, let's see, not next weekend, but the weekend after that, I believe, we'll be up in Madison, Wisconsin, behind the Cheddar Curtain, and we'll try to get Ryan and Kristen on the podcast. That would be fun. And we'll ask some hard-hitting questions like what happened to the Car Ride Convos podcast and what happened to the Spotcast where Ryan had that ridiculous mustache. I think those videos have all been removed from YouTube, which is a shame. Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it, get some Dunkin', and it'll be fun. All right, that's about all I got for you. 53 minutes, wow.
Oh, you really went the distance here. I mean, the cribbage stretches it out, but
yeah.
But thanks for having me on again, Quinn.
Yeah, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Got to find something to eat here. Maybe some pie. All right, for all of us here at the Beantown podcast, thanks to Brother Walt for coming on, and we'll talk to you later as soon as I can find the stop button.